Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is another weekly astrology and tarot forecast for Monday, June 6th through Sunday, June 12th. So I'm going to go through the transits for each day of the week, give you a feel for the energy, what thoughts, emotions, things are going to be happening. Then at the end of this video, I do a tarot card reading to give you some advice on the week, let you know what situations may come up for you so that you're prepared. If you don't know me, my name is Valentine Lister. I'm a professional astrologer and tarot card reader. On this channel, I do this weekly forecast every week, teach about tarot, astrology, any other spiritual practices that I think that you need to know about. So if you want to know more about me, and also how to book a reading, I do chart readings and tarot card readings to let you know what's coming up for you specifically. You can go to my website, valentinelister.com. Okay, so for Monday, June 6th, we don't really have much going on at all, but we might be super busy. It might be like, what do you mean we don't have anything going on? So I have this nice little flower pot candle that I stole for my mom, and I'm going to use it as a little stand for the card because I know for last week I didn't really do a great job of holding up the card that I pulled for the day to get the energy. And let's see, this is not really working out that well, but you know what? I'm gonna make it work. Okay, there, it worked. Magic of video. So the only thing we have going on for Monday is the moon is ingressing into Virgo, and it made me think of this furious cleaning up our space and ending for last week. Like Sunday, I said we have our mojo back, and so it's we need on Monday, it's we need something to do with all of that energy. So what are we going to do? We're going to clean our house, organize our bills, learn how to do something, that type of thing. And I'm especially thinking that because we have Venus in Taurus and then Mercury in Taurus conjunct the North Node. I'm thinking we're furiously cleaning to make our space nice. We want to be comfortable. We want to relax, or we're preparing for something. We're putting plans in place, maybe for money, or for relationships, whatever it is, but we want things done in a very particular way. The moon is really helping out this Venus and Mercury and Taurus, because Venus is all about comfort, beauty, love, marriage, fertility. She's let's kick back, let's just relax, chat over coffee, have some chocolate cake, take a nap, make love, whatever it is, all of those physical comforts. Venus and Taurus is willing to work for those things. And then the moon is there. And then we have Jupiter and Mars in Aries, which is we're full of energy. So we're preparing our space for something. And really being very particular, watching every little thing in our environment. And we're we want things this way. We want things this way. We might be a little bit of control freaks on Monday. And we may also feel run down, not like ourselves. So actually there is even a possibility with the moon in Virgo. For some of us, we may be going too hard on something, and we may feel run down or sick, because moon in Virgo, Virgo has a tendency to over worry or overdo it, or just keeping too busy or being too neurotic, or sorry Virgos, but just overthinking things and then doing too much, and never stopping. So that's a Mercury thing, right? So when we have the moon in Virgo is ruled by Mercury and Taurus, so it may be that we just don't know when to stop. Taurus doesn't know when to stop either. They'll just keep going and going, okay, let me work towards this thing. And so, by the end of the day, maybe we feel run down. Okay, so for Tuesday, June 7th, we're in first quarter moon time. It's time to have some type of conflict, tension, argument that we have to deal with. And this first quarter moon is in Virgo, and it's trining Venus and Mercury in Taurus. So it made me think that we're going to be criticizing someone or something, and I pulled this this Knight of Cups here, and it made me think about how it's you can say all the romantic things in the world, right, when you're in a relationship, but unless you're actually doing something about it or taking some action, your words mean nothing. So I think on Tuesday, June 7th, we are not feeling this Knight of Pentacles. I'm thinking that we're just like, maybe there's someone that is like wishy-washy or not working hard or not doing things the way that we want to. And that totally makes sense, because we have the sun in Gemini. And Gemini like can be a little flighty because Gemini energy goes with all different ideas, right? And so we're pulled to this idea and then this idea, and we adjust as we go. And it's very lighthearted energy. Virgo moon, though, is way more serious. And it's like, okay, we have these ideas, but how are we going to like practically implement them to do something, that's going to work well? Like, how are we going to apply all these great ideas practically? And so we're going to be annoyed about it because, again, it's first quarter moon. Plus, we have Mars in Aries. So if we're mad, we're fighting with people. Like we might fight with people, maybe passive aggressively, maybe aggressively. Like who knows? And for a reason, because we have Jupiter in Aries. So yeah, somebody is being wishy-washy, and like we're not feeling it, and like we're letting them know, or at least thinking it, and just being like super passive aggressive about it, because we're annoyed at other people being flaky and not really like coming through for us, like, with actual actions. We don't just need words, we need action. Okay, so for Wednesday, June 8th, we have the moon trine Mercury, and then it's going to go into those last anaretic degrees where it's not supported. It's in the bounds of Mars. So not feeling so good. Like that, bounds of Mars is like tension, anger, conflicts. And so we have the King of Pentacles reversed. And I think what I'm thinking of is like the stubbornness of, like Mercury and Taurus trining that moon, and like how there's like, and even like the bound where the moon is like, and this earthy energy, there is this like, I want things done in a certain way, and I'm gonna go as slow as I need to go and take my time with things and be very particular. Um, and again, I think Wednesday, like we're still overdoing it. Like we're doing too much, but I think also there's a sense of like independence. With that, like, last week I feel like we were reaching out more for help. Like this week I feel like there is more like just stuck in our ways and being like super like independent, like we can do it ourselves, like we're not taking help from others. And so maybe there might be a feeling of just like overdoing it again, or maybe feeling run down. Whoops, I think that all depends because we do have Mars in Aries, so that will give us a lot of energy. So maybe we have all of this energy, and maybe we know we need to stop, but we can't quite do that. And actually, Mars being in its own domicile in Aries, like while this moon is in Virgo, trining Mercury. The thing is that Mars needs, whoa, okay. This card really wants to go do its own thing and keeps like flipping over. I'll just hold it there. So, Mars needs a way to express its energy. And one signature of Mars is actually illness from doing too much. So, in ancient astrology, the sixth house is called the joy of Mars. And so one of the things about it is that, if you have a planet there, the planet doesn't know when to stop. And so it's related to accidents, illnesses, and injuries. So that actually could be a theme for early in this week. Yeah, because we don't know when to stop, and we have all of these ideas, and and again, like we want to implement them when the moon is in Virgo, and it has this like nice like idea of what it wants, like this stability from Venus and Mercury in Taurus, but that Mercury in Taurus is conjunct the North Node. And so signature also of the North Node, which is a malefic like Mars, is that it gets so hungry. It wants what it wants, and it doesn't know like when to sit still. So I think that's the thing. I think we just have all of this energy, and we just don't know what to do with it. And like we're not asking for help, and and so yeah. And on Wednesday, we are gonna feel like, I think, a sense of anxiety about it, because the moon is in those last anoretic degrees of Virgo. And so there is like going to be a couple hours on Wednesday, like middle of, like, well, it's morning. It's going to be in the morning on Eastern Standard Time. So it can vary, but a couple hours where we do feel unsupported, where we feel like we're doing everything. And maybe there is some criticism that comes out because we do have the sun in Gemini, which is more verbal. So like Virgo energy, they like to throw comments out there, but they're not always expressing like their criticism like verbally, like out loud so other people know. But because the sun is in Gemini, we may have moments where we're criticizing others, where we just have so much anxiety. We just feel maybe disillusioned by people because the moon is going to make aspects to Neptune and Pluto. So we're like, come on, guys. Like, why can't you do things the way I want you to do them or the way that I think you should do them? Um, so that we can get things done effectively in a way that's nice, in a way that like we can really enjoy things. And so, we're going to feel annoyed Wednesday, but then later we're going to have a shift because the moon later about 11:22 a.m. is going to go into Libra, and that gives us a more like a different view of this King of Pentacles energy. I think we're gonna like when the moon goes into Libra, we're gonna be able to like express our energy more outward. We are going to end up like being more verbal or like working on negotiating things or figuring out a plan, you know, and just figuring out how to implement something we believe in, but in a more optimistic and positive way. Like we still might have that aggressiveness, especially in the first quarter moon phase, but we have Jupiter in Aries. So I think later in the day, we're going to feel better about fighting about things, if that makes sense. Like, we do have a vision of, what we want for like security, stability, pleasure, being provided for, but also having a sense of fairness that we're willing to put in the work, but we want other people to put in the work too and have a sense of fairness. And yeah, it could be aggressive. It's moon opposition Mars. Like we're going into the moon opposition Mars phase. But we also have Jupiter there to kind of, help us out a little bit too. And with all this air energy, now we have an air trine because we have the sun in Gemini, we have the moon in Libra, we have Saturn in Aquarius. There's a way that we can be cutting with air energy, but air energy also has a way of being diplomatic. So maybe we were like feeling super passive aggressive, just thinking things about people, and why aren't they doing things in a certain way, and criticizing them passive aggressively. But now we're going to be open about that criticism. And the nice part about that is that we can, perhaps like smooth things over a little bit. Okay, so for Thursday, June 9th, this gave me the feel of like we're like fighting something or taking action on something we believe in, and it's more an ideal. It's something like we feel like, things should be a certain way in the way we relate to people or the way we interact or, the way we communicate with other people. And it could do with like, okay, we think things should be done a certain way because we have Saturn and Aquarius. Saturn and Aquarius is like, this is an idea of the way I think things should be structured. And, then we have the sun in Gemini, which is like, okay, like, let me get all this information. This is like how I think we can do things in a clever way, or having curiosity about the way we implement ideas. And then we have like that moon in Libra, and it's gonna oppose Mars, so we have a lot of friction going on all week. So definitely like emotional fighting is like moon opposition Mars. And we're gonna think that we're like fighting for an ideal to bring things together. We have like a Jupiter Neptune contra Antisha going on, like a secret opposition. But then we have the moon opposition Mars with Jupiter. So we really think we're fighting for a purpose, for a reason, for fairness or justice, fairness and justice in society, in our relationships, like, and in our communication. But the thing is, we have this moon reversed card. So I think there is actually like this illusion going on of like we think we're fighting for one reason, like one ideal, but there's something about we actually just don't want to look at our issues, like there is this like spiritual bypass, like is the word I got. Like we don't want to get too into our emotions, especially with all this air and fire energy. Um, but there's something about like the argument we're having that is really about like deeper emotional issues that we need to work through and really look at, but we don't necessarily want to. So that is sometimes an issue with air energy, which is like can think so clearly, make such a good argument, and and really like be so creative with ideas. Like that's the strength. But the downfall can be intellectualizing emotion. So I think that's actually what might be happening on Thursday, June 9th. We're getting too into our head about our emotions and just like we're giving all the reasons in the world why we feel this way. And these reasons, like they look good on paper, they make intellectual sense, but they don't make emotional sense. When we get into like when we're in emotional energy, it's like doesn't matter what argument you make. I like you still feel how you feel. Okay, it's like you could break up with your boyfriend and know like he was awful, he was toxic, I needed to leave him. None of those arguments have anything to do with the fact that you feel devastated and your heart is broken. So that is the feel I have for Thursday. All right, so for Friday, June 10th, I got this Four of Pentacles reversed. And we don't have much going on. Like most of the week, it's like moon transits. So like the first quarter moon, it's like we're still irritable. I mean, there's still a lot going on, but it's basically like we are looking at the moon. The moon is the star, and maybe that's why we feel so emotional and like we're fighting with everybody. So we have the moon trine Saturn, and it just made me think of like socializing, making plans with friends, or social obligations that we need to keep up with. Sometimes it can deal with the law and rules, like dealing with something with that. And again, with this air trine, it could be like learning something new or, consuming media or learning about something we want to learn about, like something with ideas or consuming, gossip or information, things like that. But I do think we're going to be trying something new earlier in the day with all of this air energy. Because it's like it's the Four of Pentacles reverse. So it's like we're trying to get out of being stuck in our ways, but we don't really want to do that. Like we really want to be safe and secure and like stay in our comfort zone because we have Venus and Taurus. Venus and Taurus is all about like being in our comfort zone. Like why mess with a good thing, if it's working? But then with all this air energy and, Mars and Aries, like maybe we want to expand our horizons, especially on a Friday. And then later in the day, looking at the chart, hitting the wrong buttons. Here we go. So later in the day, though, the moon is going to be in those last anaretic degrees. So we may feel unsupported, may feel a little irritable, scared, isolated, lonely, like unsupported kind of thing. And then the moon ingresses into Scorpio and its opposition Venus and Mercury. So again, right, when we have tough aspects like an opposition between Mercury and the moon, and this will be happening for a couple days, like the moon is in Scorpio for a few days. There can be real emotional thinking. And, the moon now, we have the south node in Scorpio. So it really is like emotional escape because the south node is about escape. But then on the other end of the spectrum, we want like comfort, pleasure, security, like material security, like physical touch from somebody, like a physical, like knowing somebody's physically there, having money, having the items that we need, being safe in our home, right? So we can be like fertile and abundant, right? But, Venus in Taurus, she worries about these things. And so there is like some worries because we do have Mercury trine Pluto. And so maybe things that come up about our physical or material security that are worrying us. And I do think so, The thing about planets in fall is it's not just like bad or anything. So if you have a planet in its fall, like in Scorpio, um, it's actually what happens is you things happen with that planet, but they end up being short-lived, or you end up doing those things early in your life and you get like kind of tired of it earlier in your life. So what it made me think of, you know, with Friday going into Saturday is just like we're escaping into comfort or pleasure. Um, yeah, and wanting emotional security and really seeking that out, but being really like emotionally volatile because of that. And so I'm going to go into Saturday because Saturday, like this continues, and it made me think of short-lived comfort. We do have Venus, hitting Uranus, right? And the moon, but it's also like going towards that north, that hungry north node that wants that pleasure and comfort and is like, I'm going to stick my heels in and get it. And when you have the moon opposition Venus, it's like, give me physical pleasure. And so again, it's I'm thinking for Saturday, it's like this short-lived comfort or pleasure. Like we're gonna smooth over like all of that anxious energy, like by the time we get to Scorpio with like emotional comfort, emotional and physical like comfort, but in a way like where we withdraw, in a way that we like cut people out that are gonna prevent us from being able to enjoy things. We're really on the like we have a watchful eye when we have the moon in Scorpio. And when we have Venus in Taurus, it's kind of like we're also just like kind of like we're not listening to anybody. We want comfort the way we want it on Saturday. Oh, and sorry, let me switch the cards. So for Saturday, I actually got the 10 of Cups reversed, and that is like emotional escapism. Like we want things the way we want it. We want to feel emotionally good and well, and we want to like create that perfect picture of like comfort and pleasure, but I think we don't really care like the way we get it. Um, yeah, like we're going to, be emotionally and physically indulgent. So like, like love affairs or an affair with our ice cream or our beds, for napping, maybe we're withdrawing from people um, in a quieter way. And, part of that is we feel restricted. We have Saturn in Aquarius too. So there is, I feel like, a rebellious energy in the way we do it, maybe indulging in some bad habits on Saturday, maybe feeling like super emotional, but feeling like, okay, like, this is the way we want things. This is the way we want to like seek pleasure and comfort. And if you don't like it, like bye. Or the other thing is like we can't get our thoughts together because we do have that moon opposition Mercury. So we're just like, oh, let's kick back, relax, have a drink, have some Fritos or whatever. Okay, and then, ending the week on Sunday. So, there's a couple of thoughts. We definitely want to look to that Venus in Taurus and Mercury in Taurus because we have the Hierophant for Sunday, and the Hierophant is related to Taurus. If you don't know that, you need to grab my tarot and astrology cheat sheets. Put that in the description below. It tells you which cards go with which signs and planets, all that. So if you want to know that and you don't have that resource, you need to get it because there are not like many resources like that. Trust me, I've looked and I haven't found them. But yeah, so it's like we are going to have, I think we're getting into like emotional and physical pleasure because we really can't, we're really just not thinking straight and maybe feeling a little lost by Sunday. And we do have that moon opposition Mercury perfecting on Sunday. And so it's kind of like maybe, on Friday we tried to get out of our comfort zone, but then it's not working. And we're like, we can't figure out, I don't know, it's just like too much for us to do something new. So it's like, let's go back to comfort, like our comfort. I was thinking comfort items, but just the way we do things that's comfortable for us. And like we're maybe a little more rigid because like we can't think straight with moon opposition Mercury, and we may be super emotional. So we emotionally comfort ourselves by going to our go-to things, like our go-to friends or the go-to places that we want, or the favorite foods that we like, or the favorite shows, just anything that comforts us. I feel like is where we're going to be, because I don't know. Like, yeah, it's like we don't know what to do. We have all of this like nervous energy with Jupiter and Mars, but then it's like we're also feeling confused and lost and want to stay in our comfort zone. And so I think Sunday, that's where we're going to be. So I'm going to get into the reading for the week to get more info. All right, so I'm going to pull a card to see like what the overall energy is. All right, not too bad. Not too bad. All right, I'm just feeling like, let me pull this card. Oh, well, maybe we have more going on than we think, though, because I'm starting to pull some major arcana cards, and I'll show you the images at the end. I'll show you the cards as I'm talking about them, but yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah. So the overall energy of the week, we have the Wheel of Fortune related to Jupiter. And the interesting thing about this card is I always feel like it's harder. This energy is harder when this card comes upright. When it comes out reversed, it's always like, oh, hidden surprises, like from the universe. When it's upright, it's like you have to make the best of things. There are going to be things this week that challenge your faith or challenge your thoughts of everything being okay, and be like, and like being secure. Like we have that issues of security, but with everything, I think like just everything being all right, feeling connected, feeling like things are meaningful, feeling like there's a reason to get up in the morning and do your thing. There's going to be things that challenge that. And we're going to have to do a lot to navigate our environment, this week, and really just use the things that come up to like find wisdom in it. So we're gonna have to work for it, and we're really gonna have to, I think on our feet. But it really is a gift in this week if we look for it and if we fight for it. If we really do start tuning into our intuition more and just going with like just the quick inspirations that we have, because we do have Jupiter and Mars in Aries. Like if you just act on things quickly, we're going to be able to, I think, find that faith if we just go with like our sudden inspirations or like our gut instincts, and just act quickly. I think that's going to serve us well this week. Yeah, and so situations coming up, we have the Strength card. So it's like this card is about, finding that inner feeling, inner healing. Um, making peace with our inner demons or inner lions. Like strength is about confidence. And so it is about, this week is about inner healing, about finding inner confidence, but really, I think sticking true to our beliefs and our heart and what we love, you know? And like that's going to be challenged, because I think there's a part of this week, it's like, are things really the way that they're supposed to be, or is there more that I can do? Strength reversed with Leo energy, it's like, is there more that I can do? Am I being true to myself? Am I doing enough? Am I loving enough? Am I showing up enough? Am I leading enough? Am I showing my best foot, like when I go through? Do I look confident? Like, do I appear confident? Like I have my doubts, but am I fighting through them? And like that's the situation coming up. So again, with this like Jupiter, card coming up, the Wheel of Fortune and Strength reverse, which is like that Leo energy, there are things that are coming up that challenge our confidence. And I think a lot of it is like just worrying about it. I don't know that, yeah, I don't know if it's not, it could be other people that we're dealing with. But the energy I got is more that it's like there's a lot of internalization. I talk about like intellectualization, where when we have all of this like air energy, we have the sun in Gemini and we have Saturn in Aquarius, and then we're having the moon go into Libra, but then Virgo too, making an aspect to sun in Gemini. And there's that criticism, like that inner criticism, and just being like too up in our head and be like, should we do this? Should we do that? And being tuned into all the thoughts of other people and just having our mind going nonstop. And when that happens, we always doubt ourselves. And then we have that, Virgo moon. It's like just doubting ourselves. Like, am I doing the right thing? Because there's a million ways to do things, but is the way that I'm doing things the appropriate way to do things, the right way to do things, the most effective way? Like, how can I be really clever about the way that I'm doing things? And I think that's why, I think that's why at the end of the week, we're just going to be like, I can't even think anymore. That's me clearly through the week. I think by the end of the week, we can't even think clearly anymore, because we had all these different ideas about the ways we can do things. And now it's like, what do we even do? I don't even know what to do. It's like that air energy, like analysis paralysis that can happen. And so why are these situations coming up? I think it's like, the Hierophant. So we have the Hierophant for that. Um, Yeah, and okay, so I think the reason it's coming up is like we want to, yeah, I think this has been a theme for the year. It's like we want to feel pleasure, we want to feel secure, we want to feel comforted by being able to go to something, being able to go home or go to our relationships or go to work and really have security, really be able to know what to expect from day to day, and to just be able to breathe a sigh of relief and be comforted. And I think this is the week where like part of us is just like there is a lot of this like nervous energy, but it's like, okay, I really want to figure out how to like structure things so that it's gonna work. So things are going to work for me, like long term. I think it's like, we've been pulled all over the place and we can't be like pulled all over the place anymore. And so I think there is a part of us this week that wants some groundedness, wants some rooting, like wants to get back to our roots and back to, yeah, and back to like just feeling vibrant, alive, like desire again. Like we do feel energy, but this week, but I feel like again, it's going to be a nervous energy. And I do think a lot of us are at a crossroads too in our life, like where we're moving forward with something. And it's a good thing. It's something that we desire. And I think we have like pure intentions about it. Um, but we're still finding our voice. We're still finding our place in the world. And we don't necessarily know where our place is in the world, but we don't want to be like tossed all over the place anymore. Um, yeah, and so maybe some of our fighting, our rigidness, our stubbornness just is about like just our fears of just like, when is it going to end, where we're just like tossed all over the place and we don't know, like, you know, we don't know what to expect. Yeah. And so the advice for the week, we have the Three of Pentacles. And I think we're really feeling lost alone. So we had the Three of Pentacles last week, and I think, yeah, I think it's like, remember last week when I was saying we would like, reach out to other people and fight with them. And I think the thing is we're not alone in our difficulties. And, I think we have to think about like the long term things of like the Hierophant and having security and working towards a goal, whether it's with yourself or other people, and that anything solid really takes a long time. So I think for all of us, we're in a transitional period where there's so much changing and changes in our relationships with other people, and just how we work and how we make money, and just like if we can make enough money and afford to live. That's a big question. um Yeah, and like those things take a long, long time. And we really have to be willing to like listen, to our inner guidance, like listen for, like those cues from the universe, and, like take it real, really slow. take it one step at a time. Yeah. And I think, like I'm getting from the advice this week, we can rely on other people, but maybe we're like a little bit suspicious of other people. And I think it's like, yeah, like we can, there is like looking to other people to help us, but I think this is really about like finding our inner voice. And I think it's like really be discerning before you continue on, like with getting other help. Yeah, there's something about these people. Like last week, I'm like, we're connecting with them. I just think like, um, maybe we're feeling disconnected because we do need to listen to our inner voice and our heart. And, I think sometimes it's not enough that we know that we're not alone in our suffering. We just don't want to suffer anymore. We just do want to feel that sense of inner joy. Um, and so I do think like the advice is like things are going to be slow, things are going to take time. But we still need to continue to listen to our heart, listen to our inner voice, listen to our inner intuition, because there is where we'll find happiness. There is where we will find the meaning and the reason why things are chaotic and all over the place. And there is where we're going to find our long-term joy, because we're definitely not finding it from the outside world right now. We may be finding it sometimes, and in places here and there, but I think for a lot of us, we're really finding more so like the inner peace with ourselves, like the groundedness and inner peace within ourselves and within our hearts. So if that gets shaken up, right, if we don't have our confidence, you know, that takes everything away. So there really is this trust yourself. Like like there really is the energy of trusting yourself and trusting in that inner voice and really connecting to your heart, to that inner child and your emotions. And, like finding that security and stability there, finding that security and stability like within, like in that grounded, centered place within you, like when we do our spiritual practices. And I think the advice also is like really setting, like, I mean, continuing, right? If you're doing your spiritual practices and you're like hitting it hard, keep doing that, but also remember the times in that spiritual practices where you are finding complete peace. And that's because you let go. Letting go is helpful, but it's hard. We want what we want and we want our comfort, you know? But even physical security is grounded in that centeredness. And, so we have to look at that. And I think the outcome of the week, I think when we connect with, I think that's the thing. I think when we connect to our intuition, our groundedness, our heart, our centeredness, we will connect with other people, because then we have the Knight of Pentacles coming up at the end of the week. And so we have this Knight of Pentacles coming up, but I think like this week, the Knight of Pentacles means connecting with people. And this has been a common theme, like connecting with other people, surrounding resources or networking or groups, but really like connecting with something that, just like, it's like this blood boiling is coming up. It's like something that you deeply and passionately desire. So connecting with people that can help you with that. Don't like that's a thing. Don't just connect with anybody, but connect with people who are who you desire or what you desire or connected to what you desire. Because by the end, I think by the end of the week, I also pulled like the Page of Wands reverse. So it's like, like something about our passion or love or something or someone we were passionate about has died. It's dried up. Oh, sorry, my phone just started ringing. So yeah, there's something like that dried up, like some kind of passion. And it's like, I don't know. I think like, I don't know, maybe like getting a call now. It's like waiting for someone's call and taking it like out of passion, out of indulgence. I feel like there's something that I just feel like the past couple weeks, like when I'm doing, I don't know what the past couple weeks is going to be like as I'm reading. But feel like I feel like we do have to find our passion again. I think we are going to have energy. We're going to have lots of energy. We're going to be willing to fight. But then it is like there is a loss of confidence about what we're fighting for, or what we're about. Yeah, because there's it's like I mean, maybe this is a time, it's a downtime of not looking so deeply into things. I feel like the last couple weeks, like when I'm doing these readings, it's like it's not too deep. It's not too deep, you know? And maybe that is because we had the new moon in Gemini, we're going to Sagittarius, and it's not that it's not deep, but it's like there is like we're just being present with ideas and being curious and exploring ideas, but we're not going deeper into those things. Like this is maybe a time for us to play and be a little more light. And maybe it is a good time to just be in our heads. I don't know. But I think we do have to find our passion, our desire, our inner confidence, um, and really like figure out what we want. Figure out what we want. Um, yeah, and maybe somebody will like physically like light our desire by the end of the week or connect us with other people. I feel like there is a spark, like an earthy spark, like with this person. And because I think, like during the reading, like we're getting like out of our heads, like hopefully, Um, I don't know. I just think we have to find our spark again, find our heart again. And, I think, yeah, I think we're feeling like a little bit lost with that. Like that's the energy I'm getting. Like a blow to our confidence, and just like finding that security, finding that faith, finding that strength. And it's like, what do we want to fight for? What are we willing to connect with other people and get, out of our comfort zone with other people, but also have security as well. And, by the end of the week, look to the other people that can actually, okay, this is what I'm getting. Look to the people that can actually like physically help you with resources, not people who are fly by night romances. Like I think we're over the people, like I said, like for earlier in the week, we're over the people where they're just all talk. It's just all talk. And I think a lot of us are like making peace with like people say one thing, but then they're another way. That's probably a signature of Gemini and Gemini season. It's like we can say one thing, but really it's another way, but really all the ways make sense, right? But um but I think we do want like more than just talk. I think we do want something deep, something meaningful, something secure, and something clear. So yeah, okay, that's what I'm getting. That's why I was like, okay, we're suspicious of like this Three of Pentacles energy. Yes, that it is the thing. We just don't want people who are all talk. We want people that can physically help us, that show us they love us through their actions, that show they're reliable or trustworthy through our actions. And they're not just like talk, talk, talk all the time. And we may find that difficult to find, but if it's something that we want, if it's something that we're stubborn about, we can get that, right? We can get that. So I think like just like this week, just be discerning. Watch people's actions. What are they actually doing? Take a look. And, are people actually like showing you, like doing physical things for you? Are people telling you, I'm going to do this, and then they actually follow through? Or are they like, I love you, I miss you, like you're the world to me, but they won't even get in their car to like drive over to see you, or they won't make the time to like give you a phone call, or like you're at work and your boss is like, yeah, I appreciate you, but they haven't given you a raise in like 3 years. So how much do they appreciate you? Are they actually like showing you with like the cash or with energy, with effort, with resources? And, I think that's the thing. And, maybe we're not feeling our worth because like with the moon in Virgo, a lot of times like when we have like Virgo energy, it's like we're not necessarily like seeing our worth. We want things to work a certain way, but there is a selflessness to that. Um, and there is even, with Virgo moon and the Gemini sun, it's like sometimes with Mercury, it can be like a loss of identity. That's why we put ourselves in all these different roles, because like, who am I really? I could be all of these things. And so that can also give a loss of confidence. But by the end, we're putting the pieces together because we have that waxing crescent moon in Scorpio. I know I'm like, okay, there's where it is, right? So we have that waxing crescent moon in Scorpio. So it's like, no, I want something that's deep and meaningful. Like, let's put these pieces together. And as we go towards, I believe like next week, I believe we're going to have that, the Sagittarius full moon. And Sagittarius isn't just about fun. It's about really going for things in a way that you believe in. And if you really believe it, you're going to go towards it and be brave and actually do it. And yeah, and so, I think we're moving towards wanting something deep and meaningful, something we have faith in, something we're excited about, something that connects us to other people and brings us together with other people and gives us a sense of wisdom. And we don't quite have that. Like, we're fighting towards that. But yeah, we want something deep and meaningful, but we may have a blow to our confidence in order to get that. But we don't necessarily have to take like huge, brave actions this week. We just have to be discerning. Like I said, we just have to watch people and see, like, see if they're just running their mouth or they're actually doing what they say they're going to do, because like, the whole talk is cheap. Talk is cheap, but actually like doing things is expensive and you're worth it. So only keep the people in your life that are worth it, that work for you, that really see your value and treat you with value. And, that's what I have for you guys this week. So I will include an image at the end of this video. And if you liked this forecast, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified. Share the video out if you found it helpful. And I'll see you guys in the next one.